Okay, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna film a whole video just because my hair's curly. Ah! Good start. Oh no, I just dropped my eyes. What am I trying to say? Lovely. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. Oh, I'm so awkward. Okay. Wait, no, I forgot. Okay. Ah! My brain is trying to work. Hey guys, it's Ellie and welcome back to another video. So today's video is sort of something slightly different, and it's been something that I've wanted to do for a while, even before I started YouTube. And it's going to be a bullet journal video where I show you how I set up my month and just doing all of it with you guys, which is going to be really fun. If you don't know what a bullet journal is, it's a diary which you sort of do yourself, and you can be as creative or as simple as you want with it. I've sort of gone very creative and very colourful, which is really fun, and it takes a lot of time, but I think it looks really cool. This year I've actually done every month is one of my favourite films, TV shows or characters. So January was the X-Men, February was Supernatural, March was Sherlock, April it was just Loki in general, May was Star Wars, June was Tolkien, July, which is at the minute, is Captain America, and next month, August, is going to be Hunger Games theme. So it's all like using the insignia and everything from all the books, and it's all like in this month. So without any more explanation, I'm just going to jump right into it, and you guys are going to see how I make my how I do my bullet journal. So I've got a bit closer because as I'm filming this video, it's going to be a voiceover mostly, and to stop it from being completely boring, I'm going to watch my, let me just turn the sound off. I'm going to watch the video as I'm speaking, so you guys get to get a voiceover, but you can still see my face in some of it, which is going to be really fun. And I'm looking off because this is where my laptop is. So I can't play this from here. Hello? Okay. What I do, which is slightly different, is I do my weeks in sets of 2. So instead of doing 2 pages for 1 week, I do a page a week, but those weeks have the same theme, so it looks a bit more coherent. So this is this week and last week, and as you can see, it's all in the same theme, but this is week 1, this is week 2. So it just means it's like more coherent and still looks nice, and I get 2 pages for 1 week, because 2 pages for 2 weeks, because otherwise I get too much space and feel the need to fill it, and there was really no need. So I started off by flicking back through my bullet journal and trying to find something that gave me the inspiration, and I couldn't work out what I wanted to do for the title page, so I started off just doing a weekly spread. And as you can see, like right now, I'm counting the boxes to kind of fit on the page, and each of the boxes were 5 dots apart, and the top box was 4 dots apart, and I'm basically just like marking out, so when I then get my pens out, I'm not doing it all wrong, and I can actually fit all of the whole week in. What am I doing? So what I'm doing at the minute is actually marking out the numbers, so I can figure out how many squares I actually need for each number, just to make it look nicely, and I'm just marking out with my pencil so I don't get it wrong, which is really good. And I'm just constantly flicking back to check. Then I move on to the next page, and I again flick back for some more inspiration, because obviously there's only so many designs out there, and I've sort of stuck with the same ones that I like and made them in different orders, and the ones that I know I want to do. And obviously I'm just flicking back through the months right now still, because I couldn't decide, and I'm just finding the center of the page to make the box around. This is a slightly more complicated design, and maths I can't do, so I'm just writing it out, and I think I still do it wrong, so I'm just marking out the box in the middle. This was a slightly more complicated design, but I think it looks really cool, especially in contrast with the simple designs before and afterwards. I'm just marking out a box. I can't remember how many squares. I think it was 8 squares by 12. And I'm just rubbing out the middle and rubbing out my maths so it's not there when I fine line. This is where my camera nearly fell over. Okay, that box was 8 by 16 for anyone that actually cares. That's how big that box was. And now I'm just flicking back again to try and find that design and try and get all of the what's that? I'm just trying to get all of the diagonal lines in the right places so it sort of was a nice design. I'm trying to not copy it completely, but try and get it as similar as possible and try and iron out any of the mistakes, because I don't quite like that page, but it still looks pretty cool. Again, just flicking back because I don't. But when do I ever know what I'm doing? That's a good point, actually. Now I've just moved on to the next page. I'm flicking back again because I don't know what I'm doing. As you can see, you can just quickly see my months and just what I was doing, which is really fun. I cannot decide on the design. It literally took me forever. I cut a good 10 minutes of me just sitting there doing nothing out. And I'm just trying to decide what would look best in the month as a whole. So I don't want to do 2 of the same designs. If I do a horizontal design on loads of pages, it just looks wrong. So I went with the one from July, which I've already done, and just sort of boxed it in because I had a spare page, because there's 5 weeks in this month for me the way I've laid it out. I have a spare page to do a quote. As you can see, I've written some maths down trying to do stuff basically which I can't do. And I'm just marking out the boxes, which are, yes, each of those boxes are 12 by 9. Now what I'm doing is marking out the days on a calendar. So I've written Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'm just putting the days of the month in on the correct day, just literally like a calendar. Just something to fill that box up so I've not got the empty space on the page, because I didn't want to draw a drawing, because obviously I'd be doing a sketch on the next page. And which is what I'm doing now. I'm doing a sketch on the next page, which is going to be a quote from the film. And here's me trying to figure out the words from May the Odds Be Ever in Your Favour. I actually used a reference from that for that, which is this. That's my reference, and I wanted to just get it in the middle. I slightly changed it so it's a bit more even on the left and right sides, just to make it just a bit more aesthetic. So that's just me marking it out, marking out all of the words. And I had a bit of a dilemma because I didn't know what I wanted for the background. I didn't want it to be plain, but I didn't know what I wanted in the background, and you'll see me kind of deliberate over this in a minute. I'll just have a stress, basically. You can see I'm writing background right now. This is what we have at the minute. This was all of the pencil sketches. The first page is empty. The second page has all of my numbers in, and it's a horizontal design. Then this is the arrows design, and these are the last 2 pages of the weekly spreads. This is me going back to August altogether and just showing you what the colour scheme was. Hang on. So I tried to pick a colour scheme from that title page, and I decided on orange. And orange and yellow is what I decided, 2 colours, and then obviously black for fine lining or anything like that. And I use these jewel art markers from Amazon. I don't know where they're from, they're not branded, they weren't very expensive, but that's what I use. And they have a brush tip and a fine tip, and I just use the colours orange and yellow. This is what it looks like. They're very pigmented, and the brush tips are really, really good for colouring, and like they hold their shape very well. The only one that sort of died is the black one, because I used it so much it just sort of went, but that's fine, that's cool. I'm using the orange fine tip to write in all the dates. I really love that handwriting. Just do like a really tiny letter in each box, and it looks really neat and like clean and everything. That's why I do it. And I'm just doing the days of the week in that too on the calendar. I mess up here, I've written the 5 in the wrong place, but it's fine. It's no biggie, it's not stressing me out or anything. Oh, excuse me. It's a said it wrong. It's a Pigma Micron pen. Sakura Pigma Micron, and I use the number 8 and the number 2 in this video, and they're really cool and I really like them. This is the number 3, this is what they look like. They're really good, they're very pigmented and they're very black. And then I get the yellow fine point and underline all of the dates and leave like a little gap for all of the tails of the Y's and stuff. Just think it adds a nice little extra touch. Then I got the yellow brush pen and just highlighted the week that I was on. Then I went back to the previous week and then went and got some Watsits because I was hungry. This is always a food break. Always. Who doesn't have a food break? Then I grabbed my ruler and the orange fine point and I drew in the box. And I just grabbed the number 8 to line all of the diagonal lines, and what I'm actually doing is drawing arrows, so it's like Katniss's arrows, and some of them are sticking out of the board and some of them are just anywhere, and they're just sort of all in the page to separate all of the days apart.
What we do here is go back.
Throughout the rest of the line, what I actually did was draw string behind the arrows and little dots in front of the arrows to sort of show that I was where I was going to go, just to like clearly separate each of the days apart. Oh, I lost my pen lid again. I'm actually useless with pen lids, and I spent ages looking for it. It turned out it was on the floor next to me. Da, 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 da. Oh, I started writing July because I'm an 18-year-old that doesn't know what month it is. I was like, I'm doing this right? No. Once I realised, I started writing August. I was going to write it in that sort of block capitals, but then I thought that more cursive writing was nicer. And then just to fill the box up, I wrote I think it was week 3 and week 4 on the top left and bottom right underneath August. And then I'm just drawing in 2 little arrows to just fill the box in and keep that whole arrow theme strong. Now I'm just grabbing that orange pen that I used earlier, but I'm using the brush side just to fill in that August bit and, you know, make it better, make it more cursive. And then I'm just I'm thickening the down strokes to make it look like I did in cursive pen, but I didn't. Then I'm using the orange fine liner to line the arrows. and then I switch back to the yellow fine tip to colour in the arrowheads and then stripe the tails of the arrow. I think they're called tails. Don't know. Google it later. You'll find out now. This is what I mean. Now I flick back to the August title page, and that sort of fire colouring I used on that is going to be around the box. Now, like I said earlier, I don't do the best job of that because I couldn't really smudge it. I'm going to just try and smudge it right now because it's in front of me. But it didn't really work, and I've just sort of made my peace with the fact that it's not going to look like I wanted it to. I'm just sort of switching between the pencils to try and sort of give the effect that it's on fire. It doesn't work. I did a way better job in the actual like monthly spread. To make this fire effect, I used the WH Smith 36-piece watercolour pencils. I use a dark orange, a medium orange, and a yellow to do that. And this is what they look like. Don't know whether that's in focus. Find out in editing. I'm not reshooting it. I'm too lazy and I don't have a lot of time. Just a quick disclaimer, I do know that those clips are very dark. I was doing this very late on Sunday night, so it was getting darker and darker and darker, and I didn't actually realise until I looked up and realised it was dark outside, looked at the camera and thought, you can't actually see what I'm doing. Hence why I go and close my curtains and go and grab my light switch and turn on my lights, and that happens in 3, 2, 1. And now you can see again, so love that for you guys. Now that I had light, I decided to grab the orange fine tip and start to write the days in cursive, that like sort of cursive writing that I did August in, and then write the dates, the actual numbers. I can't speak. Basically, I wrote the days in and the numbers in cursive writing in the orange fine tip, and I'm just flicking back and forth to check I've got the right dates. And then I skip back to first week and second week and write August in that block capitals that I was going to do in the second one, but I thought the cursive suited blah, 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 blah. So I wrote it in block capitals. And then if you've ever seen this is what I was going for, but I love doing that. I do it all the time. It's in all of my college work. All my friends from college know I did that. That was my thing. So I did that and then just wrote week 1 and week 2 in that simple writing again, just so it didn't distract away from it. Then I grabbed the orange brush tip to fill in the actual capital August and left a slight gap for the cursive August to run through it. Then I grabbed my Pigma Micron fineliner pen thing that I was talking about earlier in the size 02 and did the August cursive writing. I did letter by letter to make sure I got it right because I like the way it looked, and I just filled in the arrowhead and tail that was on it. Then I grabbed the yellow brush point and started filling in the numbers, and I gave them all 1 space for each number. And as you can see, I'm rubbing it out beforehand so I don't get the like shadow of the lines in the number, because I think that's really frustrating because the pen's so light you can still sort of see the pencil marks behind it. Now I've just grabbed the orange fine tip pen and I'm drawing in the letters of the days that correspond to the numbers. So I've gone MTWTFSS. Then I just grabbed the yellow brush point. I grabbed the yellow fine tip and coloured in the arrowhead and tail. Now I'm flicking back to the quote on the last page because I didn't know what I was doing with it, and then I just sort of went, nah, and wrote August in cursive where I made my mistake, and then wrote, that was with the Pigma Micron in the size 02. Then I grabbed my Pigma Micron again, but this time in size 8, and I am writing the quote, may the odds be ever in your favour, just down the middle because it's fun. I also chose a thicker pen to do this because I didn't know what I was doing in the background. So I thought if I fine lined it now and rubbed it out, if I decided to sketch in the background, it wouldn't smudge the pen and everything would be fine, and I could just make that decision later. I'm also avoiding the center line because there's an arrow that goes straight down the middle. I was avoiding that so it just was all straight. I didn't do it on all of them because I forgot. And I just grabbed a ruler and then did a straight line down the middle. So the first page is empty still because I didn't know what I was doing. The second page is all done. I think it looks really cute. I'm really proud. You can see my thumbs up. Second page I love, but obviously the August isn't quite right. The third, whatever page that is, the next page looks really cute, and I'm just zooming in so you can see. And I'm just stressing about the quote and the background. I was thinking at that point about putting the Hunger Games symbol behind it, just so it like brought that in and didn't leave the page empty. As you can see, I've changed outfit, and it's actually the next day because it got so late when I was filming that I just was like, nah bro, it's not happening. Closed my curtains, just went to bed. So this is actually the next day, and yeah, I've got changed because I'm going out. I actually went to watch Spider-Man Far From Home. It's so good. Honestly, if you like Marvel, even if you don't like Marvel, go and watch Spider-Man because it's just really good. So there you go. I've just grabbed a compass and now I'm drawing the original Hunger Games symbol, the one that Katniss has on a pin, in the background, just in pencil. And now I'm just sketching all the shapes of the bird in. And I actually used a reference for this. This is the reference I used. And it's really good to use a reference because it just helps you break down the shapes. Even if you know what you want and even if you've seen it before, you can still get it wrong. It can still look a bit strange. So using a reference is a really useful tool. And I always just go on Pinterest and Google what I want. And I came up with that. That picture came up and I thought it was perfect. After spending 3 years deliberating on what pen to use, I started fine lining just the basic shapes of the bird and all of that goodness that I'd just drawn, and picked the lines I was most happy with and just drew the bird. For the circle, you've got to be really careful because obviously it's a circle and they're really hard to draw. So you just take it by section, and I left a small little gap between everything that intersected the circle. So at this point, I'm going back to the title page because I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I have an idea in my head. So I actually saw this picture on Pinterest as I was just looking for some inspiration. So I decided what I was going to do is split the page into 3 and draw each of the symbols on a different section, which is what I'm doing in this clip. I'm splitting up the page into 3 equal sections so I can make sure each of the circles is the same size. Now I'm just getting a ruler to find out the middle of the page so I can just draw a straight line across and make sure all of the birds are in the middle. Now I'm just grabbing a compass to draw the circles, and after drawing each of the circles I just went and straight in drew the birds, which is great and so simple. I know this took me a while drawing each of the 3 birds because I couldn't get the shapes that I wanted. So I drew each of the birds individually. It actually took quite a long time but taking your time is easier and way better than just rushing it and not getting what you want. So I always recommend taking your time. So I've come back from watching Spider-Man, hence why I'm wearing my Spider-Man jumper, because I was nostalgic for the first film. And obviously that's the third change of the video. It's still the same day though. I've just grabbed my black dual tip brush pen and using the brush side to just fill in the silhouette of the birds. Obviously I've already done the first one. I'm in the process of doing the second one, and I think it actually turns out really well. Just drawing the silhouettes looks really cute. I think I could do with doing another layer on top, because the pen, as it's dried, has got a bit more, bit less opaque. I've just grabbed my now I've grabbed my Pigment Micron in the size 08 to fill in the whole of the circle and the arrow in the first one. So this is me picking a colour scheme for each of the things, because all of the books have different colours, you know? So that's what I'm doing. And I use the same WH Smith pencils from earlier, and I'm just colouring in the background of the circle really. There's nothing much to that. I'm just trying to get a flat layer of colour. It's not too bright and like nasty, so yeah, that's that really. Oh, it's actually like chucking it down outside. Love that. Now I'm just drawing August in that like block capitals line thing. I always start from the center just to make sure I get it central on each side. And I'm just drawing 2019 at the bottom to fill the gap, really. No other reason. Then I'm just trying to pick a colour to write it in. I decide on the colours of the circles. Damn it, I've written that wrong. I've just now noticed that I've done it wrong. Yeah, I love that for me. The A and the U is not the same size as the rest of the word. But here's the full, you know, that was the first page. Here's my first week. I really like this one. It's so simple. Second one a little bit more complicated, but it still looks really cute. And then the last two pages, the week is, they're both very simple actually, but yeah, that's everything done. So I'm back further away. We're cool. I just couldn't see my laptop from here because I'm blind and I'm not wearing my glasses. So that's it for today's video. I really enjoyed doing my bullet journal and like sharing with you guys how I do things. I just thought it was a nice video just to see how I organise my life, because obviously I have a lot going on right now and I have just got a part-time job, so I've got another thing to add to the list, which is going to be really fun because I'm starting to fill my book out a little bit more. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more. I'd love to do another video like this just to give you guys a bit more, just a little bit more, something different. If I can, I'll link all of the pens and stuff in the description. It's mostly from Amazon because I'm a teenager and I don't want to pay a lot of money for anything. Okay, this is the hard bit. That is everything for today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and drop a comment down below if you want to see more about this. If you don't, give me your opinions, it's all welcome. And don't forget to subscribe to me if you enjoy my videos and you want to see some more, and hit that bell button to be notified when I post a video every Saturday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for taking the time. I'll see you all next time. Bye! My brain is trying to work. So... wow.